Hey y'all, hey, I'm back with another video. So, today we are here to go over, break down, Fighting Irish, Freestyle, okay? So, I believe Drake's photographer dropped, it was like this video of Drake pretty much like sitting down and kind of like rapping. You can tell that it's like not very official. It's just kind of him. It seems like, just kind of like jotting off things, maybe that he kind of wrote down or whatever. And so Conductor is the producer on it. Conductor tried to drop it on his page. They tried to drop it on YouTube. But that got yanked by UMG, which we'll talk about later. But yeah, I just want to kind of go through. We're gonna break this down, right? Because I have feelings. I really do. I have feelings about this. But before we get into it, right? A couple of things. Number one, Drake is in his villain arc. Like, that's the arc he's in right now. Like, if we was watching a show, or like if you watch the WWE, he's like turning heel. Like, people have always like not really cared for Drake. Like a large portion of people never really cared about Drake, but this whole thing with Kendrick has amplified it. A lot of it is like people who just like want to be down, to be quite honest. A lot of it is people who know nothing about hip hop, nothing about rap, nothing about Kendrick. They just want to be down really badly. And so yeah, so right now he's just in his villain. It's the anti-Drake era. That's the era that we're in. We are in the anti-Drake era. And to me, when people's back is against the wall, that's when we get the best music. So I really can't wait for that. Also, this whole Kendrick and Drake thing has shown that not just with the fans, because the fans have made this like almost, Twitter really has made this intolerable. Instagram, you see a little bit more of a balance. The YouTube comments, trash, it's all leaning towards one way. But even down to the YouTubers and the media personalities, everybody has picked a side. And no, there is not too many people on YouTube or media, like hip hop media, that is calling this shit down the middle. There's not a lot of people that's doing that. One of the only people that to me is somewhat calling it down the middle off the top of my head is like Rory from the Rory and YALL podcast. I tend to hear him kind of like see both sides a lot of times, but he's one of the only people. Everybody else seems to like lean towards one way or the other or whatever, right? But anyway, so Fighting Irish. Now, before that was even the title, it wasn't anything at all, really. It was just a Drake new freestyle. And the reason why most people are saying it's called Fighting Irish is because people are trying to say, oh, because it's a LeBron James this. Now, one thing, I did watch Rory and YALL today react or talk about this, and there were a few things that I disagreed with them on. So when people try to say that this was just like a straight LeBron diss, I don't agree with that. I think verse 1 was mostly about LeBron. Verse 2 was about pretty much how the beef, like how the beef went from like just rapping to more and how he had to deal with that. And then verse 3 to me is him like responding to Kendrick a little bit, like some of the not just Kendrick, but a lot of it is him like kind of reacting to and responding to the overall public and some of the criticisms that they had for him, and even some of the things that Kendrick said. To me, this was not just a LeBron thing. Like, y'all really boiled this down to just that. I don't think people were like really reading. Something else too, sorry, also before we start, is like I said a couple of videos ago about this, Drake can't win for losing, because if he doesn't say anything, right? So when he dropped 100 gigs, people are like, oh, we want to hear what you got to say about the beef. Oh, you ducking it, da 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 da. But then when he does actually put a record out like this, where he's addressing the beef, now it's, oh, you're so sensitive, and oh my gosh, you need to let it go. So at this point, he might as well, again, just do whatever it is that he wants to, because you're always going to have people at this point that's always going to have some shit to say. And the whole, oh, this flow is so boring. It's the same cadence. There was no flow switch up. Okay, but y'all the same people that hold up Meet the Grams. Meet the Grams is one solid tone for 4.5 minutes. Ain't no inflection, ain't no nothing. It's one fucking solid tone, and y'all swear that that's the best thing since sliced bread. So let's stop there. But most importantly, if you really listen to Drake, you know that when he has these type of beats, like soulful samples or whatever, soul samples, he slows it down. You know the type of bag that he's about to get into. That's nothing new. And we're not going to walk around here and now try to act like Drake is only a one flow guy. Shut the hell up. Shut up. Let's get to it though. Okay, so intro, I love you more, conductor. Okay, yeah. Verse 1. The summer is over, I missed it. Barrel was smoking, I kissed it. Let's stop right there. Let's stop right here. I saw some of the talk is that people felt like Drake was playing victim. And even Rory said this, which I didn't agree. And I'm going to say why. And that it's like, oh, you're trying to play victim now. Da 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 da. I personally feel like if you really get into it, I feel like he took accountability in this. Now, maybe not to the fullest extent, but I do feel like in some of these lines, this one specifically and another one that we'll get to later. So when he says the summer is over, I missed it, right? So this summer came and went and I missed it. And normally I'm that guy in the summertime. Normally y'all not fucking with me. Everybody know that when Drake like drops close to the summer, it's about to be a Drake summer. That's literally how it normally goes. But the summer's over, I missed it. Which to me, that's good to let me know that he's not delusional. He's not delusional. He's very much so paying attention. I mean, that's obvious, but I'm glad to hear him admit and not be delusional about the fact that, yes, you got mocked this summer. This summer was not yours at all, right? The summer's over, I missed it. Barrel was smoking, I kissed it. Now, to me, I take that as accountability. The barrel was smoking. So the summer is over, I missed it. Barrel was smoking, I kissed it. So I missed the summertime, which I normally run. And I missed it, meaning I didn't run this summer because I pretty much went for the smoke. The barrel was smoking and I kissed it, meaning I accepted, I asked, I did all of that for the smoke. I did that. I'm not understanding how from line 1, he is saying the summer is over, I missed it, barrel was smoking, I kissed it. And people would say he's not taking accountability, he's playing victim. How? He literally said barrel was smoking, I kissed it, meaning I came for the smoke. He sent his shot and I went for it. I don't get that. To me, that's accountability in line 1 of him saying, yeah, that was me. I did that. So, not understanding, but y'all tell me if y'all interpret that line differently, but that's how I take that. And maybe that's not enough accountability for people, but I didn't get that when I'm like, well, line 1, he's saying like, yeah, this past summer, I didn't run it, and that's because I decided to go at Kendrick with the smoke. He shot at me, and I decided to go back at him. Ain't that what happened? And isn't that what everybody is saying? Like, oh, well, you can't get so upset when you're the one who asked for it. I feel like that's what he's saying there. Anyway, Ferris showed the renders for Texas. It's unrealistic. Cut him the check because I hate reviewing the budgets and limits. Just pay the man. Just boss talk. That's all that is. The world fell in love with gimmicks. Even my brothers got tickets. So Rory said that he felt like he is not taking accountability when he say the world fell in love with the gimmicks, because he's like, it's not gimmicks when you asked for it. But as the mayor said, it could still be gimmicks. Like, he could have asked for it, which he just said 3 lines before, and it still be gimmicks. And I don't care what y'all say. You could fight me about it to this. I don't care. I will die on this hill. Kendrick Lamar did not win because he out-rapped Drake. He out-maneuvered Drake. He out-strategized Drake. He out-narratived Drake. So when Drake says y'all fell in love, the world fell in love with the gimmicks, I think that's what he's talking about. Nobody, I don't want to say nobody, a lot of people, a good majority of people was not judging this battle from a strictly rap perspective. Because if so, like a lot of the battle rappers said, Drake would have won. Drake rebutted hella shit. Hella shit. Kendrick didn't rebuttal one fucking thing. One thing. And I'm not saying that's the only way that you can win, but I'm just saying. So when he says the world fell in love with the gimmicks, I think that's what he means. Is like, same thing with like the whole Pusha T thing, right? Y'all didn't necessarily was in love with the like lyrical gymnastics because he didn't really do much on the story of Adidon. Y'all fell in love with the fact that he outed Drake having a kid. And so with this, y'all like the fact that Kendrick pretty much called him a PDF on a bop. Could say whatever you want to say, but that can be seen as a gimmick, right? So the world fell in love with the gimmicks. Even my brothers got tickets. I take that as the pop-up. Not only do I take that as the pop-up show, but I also take that as the Kendrick and SZA tour that's coming, especially because it's coming to Toronto. And so it could be a play on both of those things. Like, even my brothers got tickets to the pop-out show. Y'all asses was there. And now he's coming to Toronto, and a whole bunch of y'all gonna be there. Kiss my ass, right? The world fell in love with the gimmicks. Even my brothers got tickets. Seem like they love every minute. Just know this shit is personal to us, and it wasn't just business. So, this was not just rap. This was not just, oh, me and this nigga is lyrically sparring. No, it's deeper than rap. So, don't try to be my quote-unquote friend, this is how I'm taking it, and come to me and be like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. It's just a song. It's just hip-hop. No, it's deeper than that, okay? Analyzing behavioral patterns, it's somewhat suspicious. Niggas was never happy for me when I run up the digits or when I'm breaking world records still as I guzzle a Guinness. Now, right? I'm only harping on what Rory said because I just listened to it right before this, so I'm trying to think of some of the points that he said. So he said that he feels like some of the things that Drake did in this song, he kind of confirmed some of the things that Kendrick might have said about him in Meet the Grams, and some of the things that Pusha T said about him, like how he really is sensitive about certain things and how he really does want to be accepted. Yes. Well, it's weird to me when people say, oh, he's so sensitive. It's Drake. Where the hell have y'all been the last 15 years? Saying, oh my gosh, Drake is so sensitive is like saying, oh my gosh, the ocean is blue. No shit, Sherlock. That's what Drake became really kind of got, I don't want to say he's famous for, but that's one of the reasons why he kind of popped the way that he did, is because there wasn't a lot of rappers that was being sensitive, singing on songs, doing that type of thing, being as introspective as he is, as he used to be at one point in time. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of the stuff that Kendrick and Pusha said were true. But you want to know why? I said this during the battle, where Drake had, like, Drake's, the fact that Drake has been in a lot of battles, and the fact that he's been like so forward, like so front facing, is both a good thing and it's a bad thing. It's a good thing because, again, you've been out in the field, so you kind of know how this goes with like going back and forth with people Kendrick never had at that point. But the problem with that is that because your life is like, a lot of your life is such an open book, it's so easy from the outside to pick it apart. And we could be wrong, but you've been around in the public eye for about 15 years. We can listen to your music. We can listen to your interviews. We can look at the way that you move. So, yeah, I think it's pretty obvious that Drake has a problem with being accepted. Now, where I disagree is I don't think it has anything to do with him being accepted about like being black or not. I don't think that's what it is. So when he says, niggas was never happy for me when I'd run up the digits or when I'm breaking world records still. Now, to me, Drake has always yearned to be accepted by real hip hop. Like real hip hop heads. That's where Drake has always like yearned for and wanted. He's always wanted that from the very beginning. And from the very beginning, nobody wanted to give it to him. I'm talking about pre anybody knowing anything about a ghostwriter. Purist hip hop heads did not want to accept Drake. Did not. You want to know why? He's from Canada. He's sensitive. He sings. Like, what the hell is all of this? He was on Degrassi, for God's sake. Drake's just entire makeup, before he even opened up his mouth, a lot of pure hip-hop, like rap, purists or whatever, did not like Drake. So when the ghostwriting thing came out, that just gave them even more of a reason to say no to him. But be clear, Drake's entrance into this shit was hard. I'm talking about to be respected from hip hop people, not from a pop standpoint. But Drake's biggest issue to me, and even I think he said in this interview when he did the Rap Radar interview with Elliot and B Dot, that he feels like he's never like champion for the records that he breaks. But when Kendrick does it or something like that, oh, like now it's such a big deal. But he feels like, as he said, when I'm out here and I'm breaking streaming records and I'm breaking this and I'm breaking that, y'all never want to give me the accolades. And I'm going to tell Drake that's because a lot of those they're never going to accept you. And that's something I think Drake needs to accept. He should have accepted it from the day he walked through the store, because from the moment Drake has walked through the door, he was not accepted. He had to literally barge his way in this bitch and prove that he is that guy. But I think at this point, it's time for him, I think for his own mental being, it's time for him to let it go. It doesn't matter what you do. There's just a certain section of hip hop purists that's just never going to accept you for being that guy. It's just not going to happen. So I think that is a deep insecurity in Drake, and I feel like that line kind of proves it right there, right? Okay, or when I get my fifth Maybach because the color is different. Remember we traded watches? I gave you that Arabic dial. You gave me a numbered edition. You would even check up on my son like a pediatrician. Sure convinced the gang that this shit was rooted in love when it isn't. So that part is in particular about LeBron James, because, you know, they had pretty much, exchanged the watches that he's talking about, and he's saying, you know, you would even check up on my son like a pediatrician. Sure convinced the gang that this shit was rooted in love when it isn't. So you tried to act like you was my guy, but you wasn't, because if we go back to the top, your ass got tickets and it seemed like you love every minute. Because when we looked at the pop-out show, why was your ass on the side doing the 1-2 step? And to speak to, let me finish this out. Okay, so I guess show me how different we are. There's blessings in juxtaposition. I guess now you boys got to abandon your summer tradition. Cold shoulders I gave in the Hamptons. It comes with the distance. Figured we always going to be close like ovens and kitchens. I was sadly mistaken. The loyalty wasn't a given. So that's pretty much speaks for itself. So I guess now you boys got to abandon your summer tradition. Genius says that has to do with the fact that normally LeBron and them try to go to like OVO Fest, but like, nah, that's dead. And then if you say cold shoulders I gave in the Hamptons, it comes with the distance. So from my understanding, I think that's referencing the Michael Rubin party that was in the Hamptons, and like both of them was there, and he's pretty much saying like, yeah, when I saw you in the Hamptons, I did not speak and I gave you the cold shoulder, and yeah, that's what's gonna come with it. I do not fuck with you. You did what you did, and now I don't F with you. So yeah, that means that when I see you, I have nothing to say. Because I thought we was always going to be close. And I thought that the loyalty was given when it wasn't. And I can judge Drake for a lot of his moves in this, but I cannot be or be upset or judge him for being mad at people that he thought were his friends. Like, the public and everybody else is one thing, but like he said, if you're even checking up on my son, and me and your family is like kind of not integrated, but Drake and LeBron hung out all the time. Y'all know that. We all know that. Fucking Drake will go to Bronny's games all the time. Like, that was a thing. So for you to try to be my nigga, and now when the whole world is dancing on top of my grave, you are literally at the repast, eating the mac and cheese, doing the two-step, fucking doing the jerk on my grave with the man who caved me. I can't even say it, but you know what I mean. No, it's not just it's a LA thing. LeBron ain't from LA. He lives in LA and he's on the Lakers. He ain't from LA. If you wanted to go to, you could have went maybe and stayed somewhere in the cut. You ain't Russell Westbrook. So I would absolutely feel some type of way about that. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, all right. So then we go to the next verse, right? And niggas cried the blues for you, saying it wasn't malicious. Talking about we family, well, I'm not the cousin to visit. God forbid we got to tarnish your public image. Now, people try to say, oh, y'all are reaching, but I don't think it's reaching when people say that line is about DeMar DeRozan. That makes sense with his affiliations to the C word, which is where the blues come in. And then, as we all know, well, not we all know, but DeMar DeRozan, as y'all know, like him and Drake, not got into a back and forth, but like a month or two ago, when DeMar DeRozan was playing and Drake was there on the court, he was just kind of like mugging him or whatever. And so clips started to come out because, as y'all know, DeMar DeRozan, his name was dropped in a Not Like Us song and he appeared in a Not Like Us video, right? So people started to pull up, clips and stuff like that of DeMar saying that he is friends with Drake, because the conversation was online. It's like, well, how are you mad at him or whatever? Like, and it's because they were friends. So one of the clips that was brought up is one from Shannon Sharp's podcast. He was interviewing DeMar, and DeMar was talking about how when he got let go from Toronto, he was just really, really, really down bad. And he said Drake was the one who called him over to his house. He literally sat there with him and cried with him, and niggas cried the blues for you. Not that you cried the blues, but niggas cried the blues for you, meaning when you got let go, out of DeMar's own mouth, you came to my house and I sat there with you while you cried. So I cried with you. And DeMar even talked about, how like Drake like really was, telling him that it was going to be okay and really helped him get into a better place, and how they were like family. So again, and niggas cried the blues for you, meaning you was at my house and I cried for you when you got removed from my team. Saying it wasn't malicious, talking about we family, because DeMar had said in that interview that was like his family. Well, I'm not the cousin to visit. God forbid we ever got to tarnish your public image. Now, I don't know what that line means. I don't know if he's saying like, if I wanted to destroy your public image, I could. Don't know. And then he continues all that brother talk as if I really discovered a sibling. 6 degrees, my memories, retrieving our humble beginnings. Niggas wanted trouble, grabbed the shovel and dug up some ditches, covered my body in dirt, but that wasn't me. That was a body double, and we've done dozen of switches. Now, again, this is my interpretation. Niggas wanted trouble, grabbed the shovel and dug up some ditches, right? So niggas wanted a problem with me, so they decided to go and, clickety click up together and dig a grave for me, cover my body in dirt. So they tried to throw dirt on my name, but that wasn't me. That was a body double. We've done dozens of switches. So what I take that as is, people have tried this many of times. There's many of times where people said that I was done, that there was no more of me. When everything happened with Pusha T, people said he was done. When a ghostwriting shit came out, everybody said that he was done. Hell, when this damn lawsuit came out, everybody said he was done. But who was trending and what had everybody in a fucking frenzy when it dropped? This. So when he says that was a body double and we've done dozens of switches, to me that means every time y'all think that y'all got me, every time I come back and I come better. And y'all thought that y'all got me, but every single time I switch out and I bring it back full circle and I'm that nigga again. That's how I take that. Y'all try to take me out as many times, but every single time I come back. So y'all think throwing dirt on my name and trying to get rid of me is going to work, but it's not, because I'm still here and I'm back. I'm here. So that's that, right? Niggas tried to light up the front gate. It wasn't for Christmas. I said a prayer that morning for Sean. It wasn't religious. It came from it came from a place of desperation and utter submission. Rapping was over for now. It came like a sudden decision. So obviously that's in reference to when, the friend of his house, was shot up or whatever, and how his bodyguard got injured. And so when he says rapping was over for now, it came like a sudden decision. To me, that means like, okay, I know we in this back and forth, but now shit's getting really, really real, and it's time to like stop that shit for a second and really like get shit in order, right? I don't give a fuck about you snakes or these other musicians. Niggas started fucking with my family. I'm going to prison. And we all crashing out together. My brother's complicit. Who put a pipe bomb in your truck? It was an exhibit. I'm trying to blow the doors off that bitch when you touch the ignition. But then I gotta remember who made this shit come to fruition. Break, conductor, it's me. Now, let's stop right there. Right there while I take a sip of my Pepsi. But then I gotta remember who made this shit come to fruition. Break, the conductor's tag. And then Drake said, it's me. I really sat with this line for a while. I really did. And I think this line literally has two meanings, because what I think Drake is saying is, number one, and to me, when we get into the start of the third verse, you'll see why I'm taking it this way, right? So when Drake says, but then I gotta remember who made this come to fruition, it's me. And like I said, it could be a stretch, but I think he's saying I'm the bigger artist, right? So I have the most to lose, in the sense of like, none of this would be happening. Nobody would give a fuck if I wasn't attached to it, because it's me. But I also feel like this is tying back to the very first line of him saying, the barrel was smoking and I kissed it, meaning that all of this happened because of what I did. I decided to pretty much accept the smoke. Kendrick shot, I decided to go back and forth with him. And so because of that, first line, I missed the summer. And then this line, but then I got to remember who made all of this come to fruition. So think about it, right? Before that line, he's talking about people fucking with his family and the things that he wants to do, right? Like, I'm trying to put a pipe bomb in your trunk and I'm not exhibiting. But then before I put the pipe bomb in the trunk, I got to remember who made this shit come to fruition, meaning I got to think about, how did I get here? How did I get to the point where I even feel like that? And if I go all the way back to the beginning, it's because I, first line, kissed the barrel. The barrel was smoking and I kissed it. If Drake would have never responded to Kendrick, and like in the fashion that he did, if he would have just like kind of did this and like kind of sent the shot the way that Kendrick did, people would still try to say like, oh, you ain't really ready for the smoke, but it wouldn't have been what it was. And like I said, as much as people were trying to say that he's playing victim, I'm like, how could you literally listen? He's literally saying, I gotta remember who made this shit come to fruition. It's me. So this is my fault. To me, that is accountability. It might not be accountability in the way that y'all want it, of him saying, yes, all of this is my fault, and if I didn't do this, then we wouldn't be here. But if you piece it together, that is to me what he's saying. So all of this, he's not taking accountability, does not make sense. And like I said, if we continue to verse 3, right? Who's got the most to lose and who's in the other position? So let's go back. But then I gotta remember who made this shit come to fruition. Who's got the most to lose and who's in that other position? I have the most to lose. Kendrick does not have as much. If Kendrick would have lost, perception-wise, Even his fans would have made up excuses. It doesn't matter. He wouldn't have had as much to lose. He did not have as much to lose as Drake did in this situation. So yet again, I am the one who made all of this happen because, as he said, I had to hike down just to have this conversation with your ass. And if I would have stayed my ass on the mountaintop the way I should have, we wouldn't be here. We would not be here, right? Signal conversations, well, I hope they got double encryption. I hope they got, Signal conversations, well, I hope they got double encryption. I hate to see the empire crumble on judges' convictions. So, from my understanding, Signal is a app where you can kind of like talk to each other message each other, but your stuff is encrypted so people can't read it. And my understanding is that in the lawsuit against UMG, Drake and his team is claiming that there are some, like, Signal was in play there. So, I don't know if he's saying, like, y'all better hope we don't see the messages, okay? Or the judge's conviction going to bring down the whole UMG, okay? This nigga pulled a rabbit out the hat, and y'all love a magician. It's funny to see you all rejoicing, hugging, and kissing. Now, I ain't going to go over the nigga pulled a rabbit out of the hat because, again, that goes back to the gimmicks line. I'm not repeating myself, right? It's funny to see all you rejoicing, hugging, and kissing. What are we celebrating? I'll rent out the club at Edition. It's funny to see you all rejoicing, hugging, and kissing. What are we celebrating? Drake, I've been asking that question for the last 7 months. What the hell are we celebrating? What? That Kendrick won, according to y'all. Now what? How did that change anything? I'm so tired of these corny ass comments. Oh my gosh, Kendrick did. He really is. We're watching the party die. You guys sound like fucking losers when y'all do that. Kendrick said it. We're watching the party die. Like right before. That didn't do nothing. I'm not trying to be funny. It was a moment, right? It was definitely a moment. But we'll see. Put it like this. Maybe it's too early. We'll see what y'all actually want. We'll see. Give it a couple years. We'll see exactly what y'all want. Because one of the main things that I've always said about Kendrick, or to Kendrick fans in general, is like, y'all want Kendrick to carry the mantle, but Kendrick has to be front facing more. If you want to be the face of this shit and carry hip hop and do it the way that you're saying, you have got to be more present. You cannot carry hip hop on your back the way that like your fans want you to and drop an album every 4 years. It don't work like that. It does not work like that. So again, we'll give it a couple years and we'll see what the hell we're celebrating. Nothing was the same with all you bitches and nothing's forgiven. I think that's pretty obvious. But next time, bury me in gold. My blood is Egyptian. Meaning next time, y'all want to try to get rid of the boy, put a little bit more respect on my name. Okay? A little bit more respect. The Dennis jeans come out when the vodka is flooding my system. I don't have a drinking problem. I got a subtle addiction. To me, that is a direct response to like Meet the Grams, when he talks about how his dad is, right? I got my father's habits and my mother's permission. My dad has another child. I told him that wasn't my sister. Grew up with dozens of Jews, churches with dozens of Christians. Also developed a deep respect for the Muslim religion. I'm staring at my daddy while y'all tell me I wasn't that nigga. That's fucking, that line is crazy. I'm staring at my daddy while y'all telling me I wasn't that nigga is fire. That is fire. Because that's pretty obvious, like everybody was trying to say, like, we don't want to hear you say nigga no more. You're not black. I'm staring at my daddy black as hell, but also like I'm that nigga at the same time. Love it. But that was my breakdown. Again, I feel like at this point, the Drake hate is forced. And I think a lot of people are starting to see what I've been saying, which is that the Drake hate is forced at this point. Niggas just want to be down so badly. They just want to be able to say like, oh, whatever. It's forced and it's fake. Was this the best freestyle of all time? No. Was it the worst one of all time? No. It was cool. I really liked it because it gives us insight as to where his mind is right now with everything. what he's thinking, how he's analyzing the people and his situation. And more so, I am happy that, I don't care what y'all say, I'm taking it this way. I am appreciating the fact that there is some sense of accountability here, and the fact that all of this happened because of the way that you responded. And if you didn't respond the way that you did, then we would not be here. And I already broke that down on why I feel like he's taking accountability. So that's all that I can ask. Okay? Where is the P&D album? That's my question. Where's the P&D album? Y'all get in the comments. Tell me what y'all think. I'm out. Bye.